Good afternoon, everybody. I wasn't sure if I was live or not, but so lovely to be with all of you. We are bumbling along. I'm sorry for the late start as well. We have been trying to sort out a technical issue for the last 45 minutes or so. Luckily, we have had great success, or at least some success, because we're with you live from Rietspruit Game Reserve, and we are trundling around. Basil and I have seen some zebra and some giraffe in the distance, but we are going to carry on and see what else we can find, because it's a relatively quiet afternoon out so far. The lions seem to be on Kaya, which is a problem because there's plenty other things for us to see.
Hyena just below Pofada Dam on Twin Crossings.
That's cool. Hyena around Pofada Dam. I think what we'll end up doing is heading north anyway towards Leadwood. There was a lot of leopard activity there in the morning. People on our sightings group were saying that there's a leopard calling, and there's lots of different vocalizations and monkeys alarm calling, and so I'm sure there's one and maybe more than one in that area. But let's have a look who's with us this afternoon. Alrighty. Hello. Hi Carol, hi Di, Mary, Barbara, Jennifer, Becky, Jan, Betty. I think that's all of you. Everybody send another wave and then I'll say hello to you personally. But it's nice to be out with you all again. Nice to be figuring out what's going on. I feel like we were getting so used to it being so dry on the reserve, and now that it's so luscious, everything feels new. Missed him. He very quickly shot into the water when he saw us. Okay, Basil, hold on. This little bump is never a fun bump. There's a bit, whoa. There's a starling here, glossy starling, also gone. Oh, nothing's hanging around. Other than that, Mamba Dam is pretty vacant. There doesn't seem to be anything at the dam. So let's carry on. There's great giraffe tracks on the road. I would not be surprised if we come across giraffe. In fact, this morning on our morning walk, it was a walk. On our morning walk, we had plenty giraffe and zebra joining us. So it doesn't surprise me that there's lots of great tracks of them in this area. Yes. I have got Basil with me on camera. In final control we have Gareth, but I'm sure we'll also have VM for most of the afternoon because he worked the wonders and the magic on making this all beautiful. Streaming again. That is way beyond my realm of expertise, is how to get a YouTube feed streaming and working. I'm gonna have to figure that out because we're gonna have to. We owe you all some YouTubes and some videos and some cool things, and we've been working on some amazing stuff as well. Basil, let's head up Wolfbutt for a change. Get ourselves into the central parts of the reserve. And then if anything is found, we're in a prime position to branch out and potentially respond. We're also in the perfect position to find things ourselves, but we're gonna head up here and head towards the north, I think. Maybe we'll head on to the Boskamp airstrip. I haven't seen Lula and Kalula in a while. I would love to see Lula. I'm just listening to Kevin. So I would love to see Lula and Kalula again. At the end of last year, and if any of you watched our pre-recorded drives that were aired over this period, you will know that I had unbelievable sightings of Lula and Kalula. They... Oh, woodpeckers, did you see them? Hey, Basil. There you go, they've landed on the pole. Gone. Sounded like the bearded woodpecker. But they didn't stick around, unfortunately. Would have been great to have put those on camera. Maybe we did. So now the question is another one. Yeah, I think let's head towards the airstrip and then figure out where to go from there. It would be nice to see some rhino this afternoon. It would also be awesome to see some cheetah. I haven't actually seen cheetah since we've been back, and we've been back 2 weeks now. So I'm long overdue a cheetah. But to be fair, the boys have been on drives quite a bit recently. So when all of us are in camp, myself, Andrew, and Gareth, there's a very even share of drives, and then we don't all get to see it. That's so cute. Look at all these impala. The lambs have grown
Not a bull, it's a cow and a calf that are lying in the mud.
beautifully. I wish they would stick around a little bit longer, but it's amazing. This time of the year always blows my mind again. I'm totally baffled by how much bigger the lambs are than they were the month
Kevin,
before.
we're going to respond to that sighting, probably about 10 minutes away. That's all very cool to people, so
Okay, you can kind of see them through the bushes there. I don't know if there's ones on the right or not. No. So if I pull forward a little bit, I might get their faces. I've got their faces beautifully. No, they're not going to stick around. It was worth a try. Amazing though to see how quickly they develop and how quickly they become. We're going to leave them because they've actually left us. But I was just saying, it's amazing how quickly they become really strong miniature adults. I mean, they look nothing like they did, and most of our lambs were born pretty late in the season. I mean, our first one was on, I think, the 10th or the 11th of November, and then, but really very few were born until around the middle of December. December seemed to be proper lambing season, beginning of December. So these lambs are only a month old, but they've more than doubled in size. And it's so vital that they get big and strong and competent on their legs very quickly, because they're a really good snack if you're a predator. In the time that I've been here, I actually don't think I've ever heard of the lions killing an impala. I mean, they must do. But it was something that we came across quite regularly in the open system. So I'm sure that these lionesses and lions take full advantage of the lambing season, but it's not something I've actually heard of. Jennifer, this is a great question. So Jennifer asks if baby elephants do they ever succumb to predators, or are the herds just superb at protecting them? And then is it the same with rhinos? Honestly, the herds are fantastic at protecting their offspring, but if any of the offspring are going to be, or any of the elephants are going to be attacked by lions, then it is often the babies that are attacked. There are prides of lions in certain areas, some in Botswana. Some of my friends have told me about some of the prides in the Timbavati getting to the size where they actually are starting to hunt baby elephants. But the herd is incredibly proactive about protecting babies, and they're very confrontational to predators if they need to be. So a pride of lions that takes on a baby elephant is a pride of lions with a serious amount of gumption. It's really difficult for them to kill elephants when the elephants get to a certain age, because they're just so much bigger and stronger, and even it's difficult even to suffocate them. So lions can hunt, and some prides have honed their skills to hunt baby elephants, but for the most part, generally, elephants are not really a food source for lions, unless they've died by another natural cause. And then you asked about rhinos. So obviously rhinos are a little bit, they don't have as much protection as a big herd of elephants would give a small elephant, but you very rarely hear of lions catching calves. I know of, in the time that I've been living and working in the bush, quite a few poached rhinos whose calves were unfortunately caught by lions. Not quite a few, maybe 3. Not in one area either, across different areas. But the reality is that a mother rhino she's very protective of her calf, and so she is going to do her best to protect it. I know of one of my friends has seen a pack of hyenas, a clan of hyenas, catching a brand new baby rhino. So anything that's really small, really young, is always going to be really vulnerable. But its social structure really does protect it, and very quickly they become strong and they escape that age where predation is a huge problem. Yeah. They're way more susceptible if something happens to their mother. That's when you realize. I mean, there's some prides of lions that are known. There's the dung beetle, but I'll put it between our wheels. There are some prides of lions that have become really, really good elephant hunters, but usually if they can hunt anything else, they would rather hunt anything else. I once saw, it was a long distance, I was on the deck at the camp where I was working, and in the distance in the river I saw lions trying to jump on the back of an elephant, and the rest of the herd performed, and the lions didn't have any success. But later that night they killed a buffalo, and they were not actually a pride who were that good at killing buffalo, so they were really, really, really hungry, and they had had a number of failed attempts over the week leading up to that point. And so by the time they saw elephants, they were like, you know what, anything at this point will do. We'll take our chances with anything. But everything's a risk calculation, you know. Lions and all animals out here, they have to weigh up their risk. If it's not worth it, if they could get hurt, if it's okay. If they think that the risk is too great on their lives, or if, for instance, a leopard is particularly good at this, they're going to choose the right size prey to be able to take it out of the way of hyenas and lions by means of hoisting it. So they kind of weigh up their options and whether it's worth it to species. Same is true for lions, same is true for wild dogs. Everything's food, but not everything's convenient. Oh, there's a rhino. Where? Oh, I've got it, yeah. Would you look at that? There's a rhino. Man, it's an elephant. It's not a rhino. It's way too big. Basil? Is that what you saw?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, that's what you saw.
Yeah, I don't saw the
Okay, I'm gonna park here. He's coming towards us though. Speaking of elephants, we should have longer chats about elephants and elephant activity and elephants being hunted by lions. That's cool. I'm gonna pull forward a little bit. No, he's... Looks like it's coming in this direction. I think it's a he. Let's wait and see. Stations. There's an elephant on Hoofpad, just, well, somewhere south of the junction with Boma Pad. It's stationary feeding. Oh, that's lovely to see. Looks like the young bull. I'm going to have a better look. I'm a little further away than all of you. But yeah, there you go. There's a few things that we look for when we're looking to see if it's a male and a female. The slant of the forehead is one of them. A more rounded forehead is an indication of a male. More angular is an indication of a female. Now, he's got quite a bit of temporal secretion. We're going to just stay here and watch him. Actually, something that I haven't seen on Rietspruit is any of the male elephants in must. In that heightened state of testosterone, that prolonged heightened state of testosterone, where their body generates a lot more than normal testosterone, which puts more pressure on them to breed. Now, if he crosses a certain... he's going to cross the road, I hope. I'm not going to let him come too close because they like to mess around. And then we end up acting like clowns and shouting at them. Good boy. So you can see that dark patch behind his eye, in front of his ear. That's the temporal secretion. There's nothing, no leaking or no indication that it's must. He's not the biggest bull we have on the property, so he wouldn't be... His must cycles will be suppressed by the larger bulls. Oopsie. Oh man, this is such an awesome way to start the drive. Good rhino spotting, Basil. Yeah, Mary, that's what we do. Hey, we stare at their foreheads. He's significantly larger than a female as well, but when we arrived in the sighting, he was in tall grass and quite far away. So your general impression when you spend enough time with elephants is one way or another. But I always love a good double checking. That was amazing. That was very peaceful of him. He didn't really put any pressure on us. He just moved past as though we weren't here, in total oblivion. But he has also moved into some seriously thick, dense vegetation, and it just gets thicker as he moves west, so we'll steal the glimpses that we can. I think that's the last one. Oh man, that's fun. I feel happy. Maybe now we'll find the rhinos. Oh. Good stuff. That's awesome. One of our, I think it's our younger bull. He's getting nice and tall, which is awesome. That was cool. Stations. I've lost visual of this elephant bull. He's continued west in the block, west of Hoofpad, south of Bomerpad. Well, the afternoon has turned into an exquisite one. It was so hot earlier. It's really pleasant now. And now that we've seen an elephant right off the bat, I feel confident that this is going to be an amazing drive. Making up for our minor delay. It's amazing how timing is everything in the bush. If we were on time for drive, we might have moved past before he had come into the open and then we wouldn't have seen him. Or there's so many times there's beautiful zebras up in front of us. I'm going to stop in the kind of a little bit further forward, Basil, just so that you can get them coming towards us. They can be a little bit shy, but it's amazing how everything perfectly syncs for you to see something or not see something. If you were on Brent's announcement drive on Tuesday, there was a split-second sighting of a leopard that was seen, and if they were there a second later or a second earlier, or even if Brent was facing the camera, they would have missed that leopard. So it's all about timing. There we have a lovely harem of zebra parading down the road towards us. There is a baby. A very young, well, not too young, but a young one. Isn't that cool? The one on the left is beautiful. Looks like a stallion there. This female in the road, dead in the center, is definitely pregnant. Now, it is often hard to tell with zebras because they are hind gut fermenters, which means that their bodies are always pretty huge. Their bellies particularly, but she's swaying in a different way. There's a foal in there for sure. And zebras are one of the few creatures who they can have a foal. Oh, it is a small one. And then within a week of having a foal, they have like a cleansing estrus, but they are fertile in that window, and so they can actually conceive within a week of dropping their foal.
5 minutes. Make your way.
Okay. So Gareth's just letting me know. Gareth's just letting me know that, or just prompting me to explain to you. So part of the problem we were solving before game drive was an internet issue. And so we flicked over onto our backup system, which is holding really well at the moment. But if your picture's coming through a bit pixelated, it's just because we don't have the usual Wi-Fi connection that we normally rely on for the stream. Look how cute that little foal is. It's perfect. That little one is by far the youngest. Now, if you follow the way they're walking, so the stallion went into the grass first, and then the mother, I think it was, or the pregnant one, and then the mother with the foal, and then this one, she also looks like she might be pregnant. They're following the order of acquisition. So the one closest to the stallion is probably the one that was he first acquired. And the one at the back is probably the most recent one. She's also covered in ox pickers. Now she's hiding. So
Okay, thanks.
there you go. Okay, I just want to bring you back to see if I can get you to focus on my screen here. Is it possible, Basil? Gareth, you'll have to tell us if it's good enough. But Gareth, of course, he sent some fantastic resource here for. Sorry, let me switch that off so that we don't get interrupted. For this elephant skull situation. So the skull, we're looking at an elephant skull here. So I'm listening.
South of Rietspruit junction with the fence, a little bit 30 meters.
Okay, it sounds like they found the cheetah quite far away. Anyway, for now. Oh, on the other side of the fence, never mind. So on the left-hand side is the female elephant, and on the right-hand side is a male elephant. Look at the angle, oopsie daisy, look at the angle of the female and the spongy, or the bony tissue over here that encapsulates the brain, and then compare it to the male structure. You see how much less angular it is and how much more of that, it's like a honeycomb brain, bony tissue that encapsulates his brain. And I'm sure this is all as a result of the head fighting that they do. So the male is, the conflict that males have is head to head, whereas females don't come into much conflict with one another. So they've got that extra covering and encasing for the brain that the males have, which is pretty cool actually. It's and that's why it's so easy that you can study the forehead of a elephant from in the distance. Oh, I thought there was another elephant. It's a zebra. But that's how you can see from a distance what the angle of the head is. You've also got to consider the fact that male elephants carry so much more weight, especially big tusker elephants who have a heavy ivory. They carry generally a lot more weight than the females do, so there's more surface area for muscle attachments in the head of the males to be able to support larger ivory. Thanks for that, G. Thanks for sending us some diagrams. Any idea of the age of the baby zebra Betty? Young, less than, I'd say, around a couple of weeks, between 4 and 6 weeks. They start to fill out and get a little bit more chunky after that, so that's where I would place that baby. It's still very young, but not brand new. Oh, Di, I'm so glad we could spend time with zebra for you. I'll try find some giraffe as well. But we should spend more time with them because they're such magnificent and iconic African species, the zebra and the giraffe. So glad we got our zebra. We can aim for giraffe next. And this time of day and this lighting, they're extra magical. But we had so many on our walk this morning. I mean, I want to say like 6 or 7 were hanging around, but I think there were more that moved off and they were less comfortable with us than the others. Oh, so foals, Jennifer, from the zebras, they only feed from their mother. They have an imprintation, or they imprint on their moms when they're born. I watched a zebra foal being born, and it was amazing how, well, actually, that's not entirely true. I watched the mother, she was on the ground when I found her, and the foal was on the ground pretty much encapsulated in the amniotic sac, and then she was pulling it off. So pretty much, you know, right at that birth process, she was still attached as well, and she had to birth the placenta. But she was incredibly possessive and very, very agitated with another female, a younger female, who was curious. And that's because the baby focuses on an imprint of the mother in that birth process, right after birth. It's part of the first learn who their mother is, and they learn to walk. And the reason it's so important that they imprint on their mother is because she is the one who feeds them. So there's no allo suckling that I'm aware of in zebras. Would be interesting. I've seen some sad things. Foals have imprinted on stallions and then tried to suckle from stallions, and of course that's been futile. But generally nature's pretty good at making sure that babies stick with mums.
Responding to Rhino 2 about 8 minutes out.
I think if I just think to hyenas, very little allo suckling that gets recorded in hyenas. It does happen, particularly a low-ranking female suckling high-ranking cubs, but it's not common practice. And but obviously in lion prides, it's very common practice. Everybody shares the cubs, everybody suckles the cubs. It doesn't matter who's feeding from you. It's, you know, fair game. But I wonder if it's more in those hierarchical societies, if it's not as beneficial. If you're a high-ranking individual, you don't want a low-ranking individual's offspring to feed from you. Whereas in a lion society, actually ranking's pretty fluid, and it can change pretty rapidly based on who's the most eager to hunt, who's got the best idea, who's taking initiative. Whereas is far more rigid. So I think that I'm sure that you'll find as where structures are fluid, like lions, there's a lot of sharing of the care of offspring. Where it's more rigid, there's a lot of this is my offspring, my responsibility. Also, I suppose it can correlate to individuals, where the individuals or the type of animal will only have one offspring as opposed to 3 or 4. Okay, I don't see any rhino here. What I'm going to do is drive the airstrip and then come back and then nip into start to head a little bit west, see if there's any. We'll see. Maybe we'll carry on, maybe we'll come back and go west. I got excited when I heard the cheetah report on the radio, but it's the individual on the other side of the fence. So we're not going to zoom off for a 30-minute drive to see somebody else's cheetah. He could leave as well and we wouldn't be able to follow him. Very true, Mary. Patches and stripes usually do come together with the zebra and giraffe. Now that everybody wants to see a giraffe, we probably won't see one. But there's so many giraffe on this reserve.
Lion sighting on giraffe. Main key stations unlocked.
So, this is a great question, Jennifer. If the mom got killed, then the baby would perish if another mother... no. Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to understand your question. Definitely perish if another feeding mother... Yeah, so the mother that's nursing her foal is not likely to let another foal nurse. But herbivores are great because they mix their diets from quite early. So, well, not all herbivores, but a zebra, an impala, they'd have a hard time in the first 6 or so months. they'll have a hard time their whole young life because they're not as well protected, but they can supplement their feeding with grass and water and things like that. So it wouldn't be easy, and it's not guaranteed that they'll die, but they can't rely on the other female, another zebra, to let them suckle. I'm sure they'll try. You see things like that. A desperate baby will try, but it will. I think it's very unlikely that another female is going to let a baby suckle. I'm loving your questions too, Jennifer. Keep them coming. They're fun. Okay, so no Lula and Kalula here. No Lula and Kalula on the airstrip with Ubuntu. I wonder if he's still hanging out with them or if he's moved on now that he's been able to breed with them. Ouch. Oh no, there's a bug in my eye. Oh, beautiful. Basil's got a predatory bird. I'll look at it in my eye. Is it alive? Looks like a tawny. And it's going. Nope. Usually when they defecate like that, you can expect them to get going. How beautiful and strong and powerful are those legs? Wow. And lovely to see him perched in a naked tree as well. It's always such an iconic... Actually, this is the perfect moment to tell you and remind you about our word of the day. Perch. If you think that this shot in front of us is beautiful and you would love to have something similar, you can get your hands on this high resolution image if you are one of our pack members by emailing info@paintedog.tv and we'll send it to you. Of course, that is not a tawny eagle in your picture. Whoop! Goodbye. And now there is not one in ours either. Oh, we went from having 2 birds perched on our screen to none. Just like that. It's as though that tawny just landed to tell me, don't forget, tell the pack members. Look at that mountain. It's always beautiful to be on the airstrip at this time of day. In fact, I think it's time for our Mountain Marvel Minute. That's so pretty. It's amazing how different times of the day shows different parts of this mountain. I mean, it's the same part of the mountain, but when we look at it in the morning, because the sun is rising in the east, it casts beautiful light on the mountain, and so we see all the undulations. And then in the evening, the sun setting in the west, which is more in the direction of that mountain, and so it's beautifully silhouetted, and we can't see all those different crevices and rock faces and kranzes, as we call them. But each view is really special. Very lovely. Okay, Basil. I hope I've got this bug out of my eye. I tend to catch them in my eyes. It's my secret safari trick, is catching bugs with my eyeballs. Ridiculous. Thank you, Jennifer. I enjoy giving you answers. So you're welcome to ask your questions. That's what we're here for. All right, Basil, where do you want to go? If we turn right, we're going to follow almost the same route we took on our previous drive when we had the hunting lioness. But if we turn left, we'll be going back towards the central parts of the reserve. What do you want to do? Right. Basil wants to head towards Leadwood. I like that idea. Leadwood's been productive of late. It's also the smoother road. Nice choice, Basil. The last time we drove this road together was... I can't remember when my last drive was, but there were so many, it was Sunday, so many brown veined whites, the butterflies all around here. Seems to have quietened down a little bit in this part of the reserve, but not throughout the reserve generally. We're still seeing a lot of butterfly activity. Which is nice. Nice to see the butterflies. It's not time just yet for the migrant birds to be leaving, but there's certainly not that exuberant calling and presence of the migrants that like there was a couple of months ago, November, December. It's as though, okay, cool, we've been here, we've bred, we're going to take advantage of our last month or so in the area before we start our big journey back. But it's interesting because most of them are all still around, but there's not that consistent vocalizations from different bird species. It's actually quite quiet this evening. Should we check the fence in case our cheetahs are somewhere along the fence? I think so. What do you think, Basil? I think it sounds like a good plan. I'm just going to go here, and then what we can do is we can hop back into the deeper parts of the reserve at the next turn But if you did watch those drives that we put out over the Christmas period, there was one where Andrew and I were on the for the whole entire drive. And just as we had almost given up, we found them nearly where we found the elephant this afternoon, really far. But they moved. I'm so hopeful. I really want to find them. The time I saw them was on New Year's Eve. No, surely not. I must have seen them since then. Maybe not. Maybe that is when I saw them. They are Hyena tracks. Hyena tracks on the road. I still have not seen a hyena on this reserve, which is absolutely crazy. Everything you take for granted has been flipped on its head. Now I see plenty rhino and plenty cheetah, whereas in the past it was plenty hyena and plenty leopard. One thing that's remained very consistent in my life is lion sightings. I had good lion sightings where we were before. I've had good lion sightings on all my private trips and great lion sightings on Rietspruit, so that's one thing we don't lack for, is good lion sightings. We're coming up to that time where we should start seeing if Nyaleti actually did conceive a litter of cubs, the eldest lioness in the pride. I'm really hopeful, but I haven't yet seen any major signs or symptoms of pregnancy from her. It would be the most exciting thing if she had a litter of cubs. But if she was mating October, November, December, January, February-ish, she should give birth. So that's actually perfect timing, because there's still lots of prey abundance, but there's not going to be, shouldn't be too much rain after Feb. Always that late season rain that we get, but who knows. Animals also have an incredible way of keeping their cubs safe. I know that these recent rains have been, they've come down in torrential bouts, and then they've dried out, and then they've come down again, and you always, every season you worry about new babies, and honestly they always seem to be okay. Their mothers are just far more in tune with how to keep them safe than we realize. Let's check. There might be something up on the left hand side there, Basil. Is that cheetah? Can you see what I'm looking at? Almost at the top of the hill in the distance on the left hand side of the track. Is it? No, nope, 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 nope. It's an erosion point. Okay, well, let's continue north, because we can. This road is not my favorite to drive on the fence and with, because it's so bumpy, but these cheetah brothers love this stretch of the fence. This is their absolute favorite. We'll keep our eye out for the next door neighbor, the male cheetah that's on the reserve next door to us. Maybe we'll see him through the fence. it's so interesting for me. I mean, these reserves are pretty large tracts of wild land, especially, I mean, you know, Rietspruit is a good size, but next door is a really good size, and it always makes me so entertained that they hang out on the fence and they interact with one another through the fence. It's like you have been given so much that you can take advantage of. But you hang out over here up against a fence. MP, our previous male cheetah on this reserve, actually found himself in a spot of hot water by doing that, hanging out along the fence, using it as part of his territorial route. The male lions also use it as their territorial route. They were a lot younger. There were 3 of them at the time. But the only feasible theory from the tracks and the fact that he was on the reserve next door in the morning was that the male lions had actually chased him and put so much pressure on him that he had run through the fence. But he was fine. Dr. Rogers and Brent and VM were all there. This is years ago, but it's just a good indication that these wild animals, when there's a boundary, they like to use it. They want to make sure that, okay, cool, I'm securing this. I'm securing this side of my territory. Oh, there's great lion tracks here and cheetah tracks. Yeah, there's good lion and cheetah tracks here. The lion tracks are older than the cheetah tracks. They are on the other side of the camera, so I won't make Basil do acrobatic work, but let's keep an eye out. Maybe our cheetahs were here in the morning or yesterday afternoon, more likely. Are they still cheetah tracks? Maybe they're here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what we can find. Look out as well for if there is the male on the other side of the fence or a cheetah. You good, Basil? No, there are, I think, cheetah tracks here. Maybe our boys are in the area after all. I would really, really like that. Gareth and Andrew have had so much success watching these male cheetahs hunting and doing all sorts of things. There's another car in this area, maybe. Maybe they'll search with us. Are they here? They are here. Stations, I'm joining the lock of the 2 male cheetahs. Yay! The last sighting that I had them in.
Could you perhaps just repeat where that lock is, please?
On the eastern fence at the junction with Nocturnal. They are stationary, but they're looking south.
Copy, thanks. David here responding, but I'm sold out, maybe 12 minutes out.
This is cool. Well done. That's pretty fabulous. They look like they're starting to get moving as well. That is a very nice surprise. I wasn't so sure that we were going to be so lucky, but look at us. Lucky again. I'm not going to move closer, because if I do, then I'm going to block them in, because there's a vehicle just parked on the left-hand side of the road. So we will try and get a little closer when the opportunity presents itself. But if they want to come south, I don't want to stop them from doing that. In fact, I'm really hoping that they do continue in this direction. Although, if I could speak cheetah, I would tell them that we did not see any impala. So it might not be so productive for them to head south. They are hungry. You can see that concave stomach. An indication that they could definitely use some food. How beautiful. How strapping that chest is. If he lies down, then I'll move forward. Nope. Yeah. Hi there.
Oh, we can go closer, eh?
Yeah.
You can please just open for me a little bit, I will go see.
Are you gonna go past?
Yeah, you can go closer, no problem.
No, but if you're gonna leave, I'll stay, and then you can pass by me.
I don't want to disturb them before.
No, you won't. So this vehicle is just gonna leave. It's interesting how they were facing south. Okay, we're just gonna lose the. Hi there. Lose them for a second, because this car is gonna move past them. They are so
Lock of the lions on the
unfazed by that vehicle. It's pretty amazing. Oh, he's trying to turn around. So it's amazing, when we got here, we're facing south and they looked like they were ready to move. And then they've now obviously gone flat cat and are facing north, just listening to the surroundings. I still think that I heard on the radio that there was a male on the other side of the fence, so it's possible that they've had interactions there. Male in front is yawning. Male at the back is looking south again. I wonder if it's the grass, if the grass is just providing the illusion, but it looks like the uncollared male, who we refer to as fence. It looks like his coat is actually darker than the male with the collar, but it's probably just because the male with the collar is lying in the grass, and so we're seeing less of the spots on the back. Hello. If you isolate that tail and you only watch the tail flicking up and down, it kind of looks like the hood of a cobra coming up and dancing a little bit. Alright, when that car's a little further away, like now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in front to see if we can just get a nice shot from the front of them. Hi guys. It is so nice to see well-habituated animals. They just do not care, which is beautiful because it means they have really positive associations with people. Just gonna reverse a little bit for you, Basil. Look good? Worry about that. Oh, sweet, look at you showing off. Because we've come and parked over here to have you looking at us, you roll over. Both of them. Typical. That's okay. I'm happy to be behind them. If they are trying to pay attention or listen for any hunting opportunities, their initial inclination was towards the south. And so we were both on south of them. And now that that other car is left and we've come to the northern side of them, they've rolled over and they're both facing and listening towards the south. So I think if they were to get up and get moving, they're probably going to continue south down the fence line, which is interesting because their tracks do actually come from there. Show us your teeth again. Oh, here's a question for everybody, a quiz question, and you can get bonus points. Which mammal has the most teeth? And how many teeth does it have? If you know the answer to this question, I'll be impressed. No Googling. No cheating, everybody. Basil, do you know? Nope. At least he's honest. Ooh, imagine how good the grass must feel to scratch an itch behind your ear. I'm sure that's a very satisfying scratch. They're definitely showing signs of activity.
Maybe Victoria is the zebra.
No, it's not a zebra. Basil wants to know if it's a zebra. Good guess, but no. Is it humans? It's not humans, Mary. Is it an African mammal, Jennifer? That's a very good question. But if I answer your question, I'll be giving away too many of the answers. Or a key. You keep thinking about non-mammals, Mary. Brian, you're a lot closer than anyone else has got, but it's not a whale. It's not a blue whale. A wild dog. Lots of pups. Oh, so I'm saying teeth, Bob, not teats. So I'm talking about the dentition. I can understand why that might have been confusing. He's heard something. Look at how the body language has changed. Both of them actually have changed. Piranha is not a mammal, but I'm sure they have lots and lots of teeth, Jennifer. I just don't know exactly how many. Up and down. These guys are quite indecisive. In their defense, I haven't heard or seen any prey species close to here. The closest impala that I saw was the group that we stopped at. Right? Have you seen impala since then? No, so that's very far. I mean, we know that they can cover that ground because they did it the other morning. But yeah, they're bound to be better at pinpointing prey species than I am. But just on our drive up, I didn't see anything that they could hunt in the general vicinity. They are stirring and they're hungry. I thought, Bob, I understand how you could make that mistake. Teats and teeth sound very similar, I would imagine, especially if I'm speaking quickly. But I asked the question because this male cheetah yawned, so we could see all of his teeth. One at the back looks like it's spotted something. Its body language, no, softened up. Cats do this to me all the time. Their body language is fixated. Their ears are forward. They're stiff. They're looking in one direction, and then something changes, and they're like, "Oh, no longer worth pursuing." And then every muscle in their body relaxes, and they look around, and they flick their tail, and they carry on as though they. Teeth. You're right, Jennifer. It is teeth. I'll tell you, because I clearly have made a great confusion over the teeth and teats debate. But the mammal with most teeth is a dolphin, which will have 150 teeth. I think it is the bottlenose dolphin. It's a lot of teeth, right? And they're sharp, pointy teeth. All this talk of teeth has made me realize that this guy hasn't yawned again since we first saw the initial yawn. So I wonder if they will get moving. It's very likely, but at what time, it's hard to know. Did you double check me, Mary? Am I correct? It's good signs. Don't know if you caught a glimpse of his belly there, but it's actually quite matted.
David on Blowband. Not sure what my number is.
He could use some grooming on his stomach. The male closest to us also needs a meal more desperately than the male further from us. Oh, Di, I didn't see it. Well done, you did guess dolphin. Good job. I missed your comment, Di. So you are the winner of today's quiz. You get a sighting of cheetah. And you have to share it with everybody else. Come on, dude, you keep threatening. He's showing off. He's so beautiful. They're both facing us now. It's grooming. That's good. Keep going. And another reason why these males spend so much time along the fence is that they've really started to use it as a tool in their hunting process. So they've become quite adept at using it, chasing prey into it. And so although it forms a nice boundary for them, I think they also know if they hang out in the area. Look at this one. Sorry. Looked like he was responding to something behind us, but now he's changed direction. Probably just deciding we need to eat. Let's go, brother. It does look like he's limping a little bit, but he might just have been sleeping funny on his front leg. Yeah. Let's go. I thought they were going to head south. Hi there. You're welcome to go ahead. Well done. Let's see if they get lucky. We'll stick with them for a little while. I mean, there's no point in us leaving them. Ooh, thanks, Mary. You taught me something that I didn't know. Mary's just found out that the land mammal with the most teeth is the armadillo with like around, what is it? About 100 tiny teeth, little teeth. That's pretty impressive. There are a number of interesting animals with interesting dentition. He's marking there, so a little bit of defecating going on. We're just going to follow behind them. Or maybe I should loop around, but it's a bit of a loop. A bit of a big loop, actually. Excuse me. Yeah. I think if I loop around, we might lose them, so I'm going to stick with them. Just because it would have to be a really big loop. It's not just a little nippy loop. I will share them with this car, no problem. Whoop. Off you go in a puff of smoke. You can see his scent marking there, kicking, scuffing the ground, spraying urine. So there'll definitely be scent marking and boundaries, but they'll also take any opportunity now if they come across a prey species. I'm sure they'll try and hunt. So we're just going to stick with them for a little bit longer in the hopes that they do anything magical before it's completely dark, because of course we can't stick around and stay with them much long after dark, because they don't have the eye structure to handle the bright lights that we shine to be able to see them. So the collared male is the one leading the way this afternoon. It would be interesting to pay attention, to focus on who is leading the way more frequently. Does it change, or Is it more regularly one than the other? It would be very, very interesting to find out how beautiful. So beautiful. We're gonna go with them. I feel so happy. Happy that they're here. Happy that we've got them. Yeah. Keeps spraying the fence. I don't know how he doesn't shock his tail. His tail is right up against the fence there. He's pulled it back a little bit, but I'm sure these guys have some stories to tell about being shocked. It's interesting. Cheetah are relatively well contained by fences as opposed to things like leopards and hyenas, but there are certain areas in South Africa where there's a fairly substantial free roaming population of cheetah. That's not something we hear about or come across in this area at all. It's primarily the animals that aren't containable are, like I said, the leopards and the hyenas. I wonder why that's the case. Surely a cheetah would use a hole a similar hole to what a leopard would use. I would imagine that they could get through a similar spot that a leopard could get through. Perhaps the agility of a leopard in terms of crawling through small spaces is just that much more. But a male leopard is double the size of a female leopard, and so if a male leopard could get through a hole in a fence or whatever the case is, then I'm almost convinced a cheetah could get through. Oh, sorry, I'm far away from you. I don't know why you jumped, if I had anything to do with it. Looks like it's just going to be us with them now. You see how much taller the one on the right stands? He actually, oh, not now because the ground's uneven now. That was quite striking. I think it's line. Yep. He seems to stand a lot taller than fence. Ugh, the ground's too uneven for us to ascertain that now. Yes, go stand up next to your brother for measuring purposes. I think he is bigger, the male on the left.
David leading the lock of the male cheetah, mobile south, eastern fence of Blowbunk, one station on lock.
Oh, so beautiful. If you look at the way they walk, it actually looks like they're walking on their tiptoes, particularly their back feet. How's that for symmetry? That's beautiful. I hear a Jacobin cuckoo. Let's pull forward a bit, Basil. Enjoy as much time as we possibly can with them before we have to leave them. The This one at the back definitely had ate more of the last meal than the one at the front. Look at their waistlines. I think he ate his brother's portion.
Barrelhawk shutting down from Kaya.
All shutting down.
Okay, so since we spoke about teeth and we made everybody confused, let's chat about teats. What animal do you think has the most teats? We know Barb's guess is wild dogs because she thought that earlier. Let's try. I'm going to have to jog my memory on this one. I read it recently. There's more scent marking going on from these males. They both got up at the same time. I don't know if you've noticed, but pay attention to their ear direction. They were really disinterested in us when they were sleeping. They didn't even twitch when we drove past them, but now that they're on the prowl, they're very sensitive to the car's movements, my talking, anything, and it's just because they're that much more alert and switched on and ready for action. And it's a good thing to be very aware of so that we don't put them off or, blow their chances. We're going to keep a little bit more of a distance than we might previously have kept, just so that we don't interfere. Certainly not going to help if they're spotting impala on the other side of the fence. Like, let me go parallel. Let me go here, Basil. One sec, just hold on. Oh my goodness. That's so cool. They're right next to us. Now, I'm not going to get in front of them because I have no desire to get in the way if they have seen something. Get in the way of their dinner. I'm glad to hear you're making the most of the pixelation, Mary. I'm sorry that it's there, though. Hopefully by Sunday evening it won't be. They're in really great condition. They're looking beautiful. He's listening. You can hear distant noises. I think I can hear baboons very faintly in the distance. so focused. Not him. He's less focused. He's holding that left paw up quite a lot. I don't know if you noticed that, but every now and then the left paw comes up and then it goes back down, it comes up. I wonder if there's a thorn or if he's kind of strained it a little bit in a hunt. Just have to watch him as he moves. But he lifts it, then he places it down, then he lifts it, then he places it down, as though something about it is bothering him. Oh, interesting, Mary. Mary, you've got something on Google that has told you that there's a mammal in Madagascar with 36 teats. The thing that I read recently was a short-tailed opossum, which, if my memory serves me correctly, had 36 teats. Is he limping? Yeah, he is. He is limping. Lion's got a little limp. That front left paw is troubling him. He'll be okay. He even looks like he's actually stepping out a little bit. Not really, not too much. So cool when they're synchronized. Oh man. Folks, I think we're going to let them carry on just because it's getting pretty dark now. And they do look like they're trying to hunt. I really don't want to get in the way for them, so we will watch them from here, and then when they vanish out of view, we'll move. Look at that. They're in total sync with each other. No, not anymore. Yes, opossum is in second place. I'm trying to wrap my head around how on earth it has 27 teats, because an odd number just doesn't really work for my brain. But nature is amazing. The 10 rec is the one that has 36. I'm going to have to do some research after this drive because I've never heard of that in my life. Franklin's calling in the background. That is marvelous. Hey Basil, that's definitely a highlight we didn't expect to have this afternoon, is those males. But I'm not sorry. That's very beautiful. Exactly what we needed. Maybe we should follow them and just until the next junction. It's just easier. Although they might never get there. I'm gonna go here. Turn around and let them carry on. Stations. I'm leaving the two male cheetahs to themselves. They're continuing south on the eastern fence line, south of Rietspruit. That was awesome. Awesome to see them. What's going on? Can you see me better now? Nice and bright. I'm super chuffed. Now, if we could just have the other spotty cat. If we could just have the other spotty cat on the way home, it would be a perfect spotty day. spotty cat, spotty leopards, spotty hyenas would be nice too. Would not complain about a spotted hyena, or a brown hyena for that matter. That bug that landed in my eye about an hour ago is definitely still there. I can luckily they died just a few minutes. A grass seed is almost worse. Watch out, Basil. What a pretty evening. Sheesh, the elephant and the cheetah were a bonus for me this afternoon. I think I didn't expect too much. I don't know why. There's no reason. And the baby zebra, obviously, as well. No reason why we shouldn't have incredible sightings. The Rietspruit is always generous with its sightings, but I was just looking forward to being out. And then to be out and have such special sightings is amazing. And as Mabai-Bai's cub reaches independence in the next 3 or so, 3, 4, 5 months, depending on when she decides to fledge, it'll be extra interesting to watch the behavior between these males to see if they fight over Mabai-Bai who will come into season, or if one of them will just take over, or if they'll separate her out. It'll be fascinating to watch, because well, she'll come into season pretty soon after Mabai-Bai, the cub. Mabai-Bai will come into season pretty soon after that cub goes independent. So sheesh, Basil, look how high the grass is. It's basically on my bonnet. It's very high. And it's very seedy. If I go like this, I'll be a seed eater. We missed you. Sorry about that, everybody. We are trundling around in the dark now, looking for the Nocturnals. I know that this is optimistic, but I'm kind of feeling a serval. What do you think, Basil? Yeah, a serval would be cool. Did you say and a baby? Oh, a bush baby. I was like, you have a very tall order if you want a serval, a baby serval. That would be amazing. A bush baby would be cool. A serval would be cool. I'd really like to see a civet. It's been a little while since I've seen a civet, so I'd like to see a civet. Any of the nocturnal critters would be fabulous. We are going to take a route that might be productive for some of them. So I'll keep my eyes peeled, and all of you can keep your eyes peeled too. There's a nocturnal. Can't believe the effort we're going to. There? That's funny. We have a scrub hare. Of course, it is a nocturnal animal, so it counts for something. And he's happily feeding quite far in the distance, so this light is no trouble to him. And they are nocturnal with those absolutely massive eyes and massive ears. They're well equipped to deal with the night. Oh my goodness. Oh, could you go into the back of those ears, Basil? Are those ticks on the back of its ear? Oh, folks, look at the parasite load on this scrub hare. Oh my goodness. There are probably hundreds of ticks on the backs of those ears. That would be an indication that the scrub hare is not in good condition, because usually an animal in good condition doesn't have that much of a high parasite load, but there are, I can see hundreds of ticks on the back of the ears. That is the most I've ever seen on a scrub hare. You see them in the groins of big mammals, but this poor scrub hare. That can't be very pleasant. Is it ticks? It's got to be ticks. It is ticks. Shame. I hope that you're okay, little one. You need to take a leaf out of the book of the warthogs and go for a mud wallow. Of course, they'll never do that. Yeah, the fur doesn't look perfect either, Mary, but the fur wouldn't have been a cause for or an indication of concern for me if there hadn't been such a high parasite load on the back of the ears. I mean, it's an adult, so it's definitely not a very young one, but I'm just absolutely gobsmacked at how many ticks and how big they are. They've been on him for a while. Poor thing. Alright, I'm not going to further exacerbate any stress by keeping the light on for too long. Wow. Some things take your breath away, or your words away, and not in a good way. You know, the ticks are they're terrible. We hate ticks. Everybody hates ticks because of the disease they carry, but by carrying diseases, they are fulfilling their role in this ecosystem. The necessity for ticks is that they are paramount, because if it wasn't for ticks and tick-borne disease, we would have populations that are way out of control. So although it's hard to see an animal infested with parasites, it's actually a vital part of keeping all wild spaces natural and balanced. That is the harsh reality. You know, we drive around here and it's all lovely and we see cheetahs and we see elephants and it's fantastic, and that's because the wild is an exquisite place and it does make us happy and it does transform our moods. But when you really scratch beneath the surface, part of what makes it so beautiful is the fact that it is so harsh. And the reality is that not everybody can survive till a ripe old age. So who knows? Who knows if that's an old scrub hare and as a result it's starting to lose condition and picking up parasites, or if it's a particularly young and an adult, but a younger adult who's just sort of morbidity making it weaker, and so parasites, like the parasite load. Do we have wild cats on the reserve, Di? I'm sure we do. In fact, we do. Cat will be in this environment. I haven't seen one on this reserve, but they are here. Part of why people get so, I mean, I'm not one of these people because I love them. Part of the reason why people get so worked up about domestic cats as pets when you're a resident on these reserves is because they can interbreed with the wild cat population and pollute the genetics. Of course, it's a very simple solution to that, and that is sterilize your cats. And most people love their cats a lot, and so they actually have something called a catio. I don't know if any of you know what a catio is, but a catio is basically an extension of your garden or house that is fenced in, but it's massive. It's like an aviary or it's like putting a fenced in roof around a fenced in cage into a section of your garden that connects to one of the windows to your house. So if you do have a domestic cat and you don't want it to be caught by wild animals, then you build a catio for indoor and outdoor access for your cat. There was an owl there, did you see it? It's gone. She gone. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Looks like a spotted eagle owl to me. Let's see if you're going to show off your amazing neck swiveling skills. There you go. Look at the amazing dappling on the back of this owl. I mean, it blends so beautifully in the night. If you don't have a torch, you would struggle to see it there. Look. I mean, you can see it because the sky's still got a bit of light in it, so the silhouette is stunning. And also the camera is sharp, but those orange eyes are also amazing. But this is perfect camouflage, especially for sleeping in the trees during the day. Beautiful. We've had a bumper drive this evening, haven't we? There's something exciting around every corner. So an owl like this would definitely prey upon that scrub hare that we've just seen, especially if the scrub hare is not paying attention. So it'll have to be careful. We're a little further along now, but this owl can cover distance overnight. Goodbye. Gone. Massive, massive eyes on that owl. All the better to see. With generally nocturnal animals do have larger eyes. That scrub hare had large eyes. The owl has large eyes. Even a lion's eyes, if you consider the proportion size ratio of a lion's eye to an elephant's eye, you can see that they're significantly larger proportionally. Of course, not pound for pound, I don't think, but as a ratio to the rest of the body. Okay, this is where I want to be. Andrew and Basil had a serval out here a little while ago, didn't you? Yeah. I have not seen a serval on Rietspruit. But this time. Uh-oh. Oh, sorry, little Nitro. Where on the airstrip did you see your serval, Basil? Somewhere around here. Okay. It's good to know. Makes sense to me. It's a good area. Lots of grass. Here it's mowed because this is an airstrip, so less place for them to hide or for their prey to hide, so they wouldn't be in such short grass, but maybe on the outskirts, on the fringe. Thought there were, well, there are eyes on the other side over there, except that there's about 12 eyes, so those are impala. Also eyes in front. Can you see them over there, Basil? Okay, they've gone. I wonder what that was. Oh, more impala. I really thought it was something exciting because it vanished, but what it actually did was turn its head. Wildebeest, there's gnu's. I won't shine on them. We don't want to disturb the wildebeest too much. But they're coming up. Oh, they've run away. It's hyenas! Oh my gosh! I don't want them to run away. They're moving away from me, Basil. Just try and get them. It's hyenas. Okay, I'm going to try and get a bit closer, but they do seem to be moving away, everybody. I don't want them to chase. I don't want to chase them. If I stop here, can you get them? Oh my goodness, golly gumdrops. I'm so excited right now. This is amazing. There's 3 of them. Where are they? I'm gonna have to pull forward. This is so cool. Let's see if we can just stay with them for a minute or two. I can't tell if they're moving away from the vehicle or if I thought that those eyes were different. Okay, I'm just gonna stay with them for a minute to see if we can just spend a second with them, Basil. try there. Oh my word, so it's 3 spotted hyena. Their behavior is interesting. They're excited about something. Look how those tails are erect. They're sniffing around. They're actually not that worried about me. I was worried that they were moving away from me, but this individual doesn't seem too phased. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. I can't believe it. This is my first 3 hyenas on Rietspruit. I never thought I would celebrate a hyena sighting this much, but you have to. Let's just see what they do there. I'm so happy. They're actually relatively chilled, hey? Is that one anal pasting over there? What's it doing on the left-hand side? That's scent marking. Perhaps somebody's been in the area that they're not so sure about. Okay, they're much more nervous of us than most hyenas. I'm going to see if I can follow them. I'm going to see if I can follow them, but I'm also not going to create a negative association with them. Let's see. That's amazing! Oh my goodness! I'm so pumped. Oh God. Please don't have vanished. I want to see more of you. Man, I was so confused. I was like, oh, those are really weird. Wildebeest. No, they can't be wildebeest. No, they must be wildebeest. Boom. Hyenas. And I'm pretty sure they have given us the slip. An epic way to end an awesome drive. Oh my word. I'm very enthused, can you tell? I mean, Rietspruit used to have such a thriving population of hyenas, and then the male lions learned that they learned exactly how to bully them. And so they just decimated the numbers. Of course. Here they are. They're still in front of us on the road. Guys, we're just going to extend show, as you can tell, by a little bit longer, ladies and gents, just until we lose these hyenas. So they're running away from me. We'll I'm going to try and give you one more glimpse of them. If they continue to run away, I don't want to push the issue too much. It's very interesting to watch hyenas running away from me. Okay, they were on the road. We're driving in their dust right now. I don't know if you can tell, but it's extra dusty. Oh, Basil, have we lost them? I hope not. Let's just check if they're not still on the road ahead of me. The beauty of this vehicle is it's nothing. Oh, there they are. Yeah, okay, they've gone. They're gonna go. They are here, but they're not hanging around. I'm not gonna follow them. Okay, everybody, that was super special. I have no words, but I'm really glad I got to share it with you. So I'm glad that we were there in the right time at the right place, right time. But yeah, that seems like that's the sighting over. They are moving away from us, so we're gonna let them go. But that was pretty awesome. Have an amazing evening, and we'll catch up with you on Sunday evening, same time, same place. Goodbye.